Okay.
I am fine.
Very good morning to our respected resource person, Professor Jeyavel from Central University of Karnataka, from the Department of Psychology. We are very happy that today he can spare his time for our participant. Many times I have engaged his service, and not only that, through him I also come to know different, very good resource person. So I'm very happy for that. And I hope that today also a participant will be having a very good time with him. So Professor Jabal will be talking on upside of stress. Uh, Stress is enhancing mindset. So it's going to be very important because as I have mentioned that mental health is a very big issue. So UGC have given importance for that and they have informed us to include mental health on every program. So one of the program is like faculty induction program, and one of our uh, resource person will be Professor Jael. So thank you so much, sir, for having you. You may proceed with your lecture, sir.
Thank you, Mavia, Dr. Mavia, for this nice opportunity to meet a large number of faculty members. I think this time the faculty number who have joined for this FDP is like quite bigger.
Yes, yes, sir.
So,
We are
ah,
around 140, sir.
Ah, so I am seeing a very big list in the participant list. It's really nice to have an interaction with this larger group. So may I get to know about the nature of this group? Probably how many states? If it is fine, we can have a small brief intro for each state, one person.
Your participant
Ah,
kindly posted the state which you are coming from in the chat box. Participant, kindly post the state which you are coming from. Yes, 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 sir. You can read the chat box,
yeah,
sir.
yeah, yeah. I am reading here. Nagaland, Maharashtra, West Bengal, Tamil Nadu, Assam, Orissa, Delhi, Bihar, Jharkhand, UP. Oh, it's quite a vast variety of people from different states. At the outset, I would thank this technology, which has made a possibility for us to meet, right? So I am Dr. Jeyavel, involved in researches related to stress and stress mindset. Before starting my session, I would like to ask you, or I would like to pose you a question related to your experience of stress. So, how much of stress did you experience last year? The option given are option A, relatively less stress, option B, moderate amount of stress, option B, a lot of stress. Let me see the overview of your responses. B, A, C, A, B, A, B, C, B, C, B, C. Overall, I could see less number for A and quite good number for B and C. Okay, it's a simple question related to last year. Probably COVID was there in the little more previous time. It's quite interesting to see all your responses. Let me ask the next question. What is your belief? Do you believe stress is harmful for your health? Actually, here I could see a great shift in the results. There are more proportion goes for option A, whereas less proportion goes for option B. It has been told to us from a long period of time that stress causes this, stress causes that, likely, right? If you are belonging to any of the life sciences or medical sciences discipline, we could see in every discipline the reason for a person to have a particular type of illness is being targeted towards stress. Stress is being the villain for the trouble what people were facing in terms of any of medical illness or in terms of any of psychological illness, right? Due to that, we could see there are a lot of responses which is coming. Yes, stress is harmful to our health, which is coming like yes. Of course, the major aim of this particular session is to have a change in your belief. It happened to me after exploring to this new novel idea, stress mindset. Hopefully, I am trying this to this larger group of people. Let us see, when we see stress as an aspect which we are trying to face with, which we are trying to fight with, which we are trying to engage with, we were getting into so many informations, right? How to handle this, how to handle that, likely, right? But when the right moment comes, it's really tough for us to deal with it. When the right moment comes, it's really tough and it really not easy for us to deal with. Whatever we learn from textbooks, it becomes very hard for us to implement when we face a particular situation. In today's context, in today's context, we could see there are a lot of things which brings us stress. It is not only we, but if you see all other people whom you know or whom you interact or whom you see, probably we teachers has a great chance to meet students. Do students have stress? Yes, of course, students have stress. Students are coming from family. Do family members have stress? Yes, family members also have stress. Family members goes to office. Do office people have stress? Yes, office people have stress. So if you look into the entire scenario, circumstances which are there surrounding to us, we could see stress is there everywhere. And very novelly, we could see even the school student or the pre-KG student who is going school first time, they also tell, oh, today is very stressful. So stress appears like part and parcel of everyday existence. It's really tough for us to go out of stress. It's a very simple dimension or the equation, we can say, how we see stress or how we get into stress. Every situation has certain demand on us. So there is a demand which is being put forward by the surrounding. So it's a compulsion for you to have a compulsory FDP before getting into that particular stage in promotion. That's a demand. How do you adapt to the demand? Okay, once you find yes, there is a demand like this, then you try to give application for the different courses, and finally you choose a particular course which is okay for you. And then accordingly, when you engage into the 24 days of orientation, and when you satisfy the demand which has been given for you for the promotion, probably you will not have a possibility to engage stress. I am talking this from the normal general condition, right? Same demand may be there, but people may have a chance of perceiving this as a bigger one. So probably you can imagine this, instead of this oval, you can imagine this demand as a big circle. Probably you would be having that similar adaptability. Then in that case, your demand will be appearing like a very big ghost, and then your adaptability may be less. Then you have a great chance to experience stress. In certain conditions, people have less idea or less awareness about what they are capable of doing, what they can do. That means they have less perception of their ability to face the demand due to the different other conditions. They may develop like certain type of inferiority. They may think about their adaptability quite less. Demand is same demand, but when the adaptability is being felt less, then it also has a great chance to give you stress. One thing is very clear from this: when we have the equal amount of adaptability for the demand, whatever is there before us, probably we are going to have less stress, right? So it's a very simple aspect. So like I am taking an online class and I would be depending on the electricity. If at all anything happens, like electricity power failure happens, then it's going to have a disturbance to me. If I have certain things which is having a possibility for me to avoid that type of disturbances, probably if when I'm doing this with laptop, probably the question comes for the internet. I am accessing through Central University of Karnataka's internet connectivity. When power supply goes, my connectivity may have a trouble, but parallelly if I have a mobile network which can able to support me during that emergency, probably I am trying to have certain established things in the name of adaptability. By the way, I am going to have less stress. Let us spare a few minutes to explore the various sources of stress for a university teacher. As a teacher, what are all the stress we experience? Or what do you think which causes your stress? You can put your reply in the chat box. I am waiting for your reply. What causes stress to a university teacher? Dr. Mukesh Kumar is writing stressful environment in college. Okay. Are you talking about the physical environment or the social environment, Dr. Mukesh? Administrative responsibilities, pending work, assessment of students, more due to unacademic work, excess work pressure, preparing proposals, coping with the stressful peer pressure. Okay. Overburden, physical as well as social environment. Okay. Toxic work environment. Nice, nice, nice. What do you think? Why are we not writing same thing? Why are we writing different aspect which has caused stress to us? Is there any similarity, or is that stress given for another person? Is it same for us due to different experience, due to different perspectives? Okay, different mindset. Okay, so there is a pressure for publication, but no infrastructure, excessive administrative work we faced. Okay. The major question comes, why does it vary from person to person? Someone was writing like peer pressure. Do everyone faces the trouble of peer pressure? May not be. Someone were writing like social and physical condition. Do everyone faces the similar trouble because of the physical and social condition? Most probably no. Somebody was writing about politics and favoritism. Do everyone has the similar trouble because of the politics and favoritism? Probably not. Someone was writing like preparing students for the dissertation or research work. Is it causing similar stress to all people? Not at all, right? So one important aspect come out from all this reply. It's very much personalized, very much specific for each person who is experiencing that particular condition, right? But in general, when we look into the outcome, that means, okay, there are different things causes us stress, but when we are under stress, what is that outcome? We could see these all have a similar type of outcomes whenever a person is been getting to stress. So it creates certain type of unpleasant emotion. Then during the time we have higher negative thinking, and it reduces our attention to invest our time for effort for the next work. And there is a certain type of preoccupation continuously going inside our mind, and which is taking us away from the current conversation. And at the day evening, when we see how is our ability, we could see like very much dry or exhausted. And times when you are being engaged in this type of preoccupation, it has a great chance to intricate or induce certain type of uh, responses which are not very good or very okay for the other person. That time it can have a chance to lead to interpersonal problem. And of course, when we continuously face such troubles, then we lack motivation for our daily life, and ultimately it reduces our performance. So, whatever the source of stress may be, but when you look into the outcome of that stress, we could see it has a very hard or very harsh negative side. Do stress has any positive side? So there we have certain clue or certain helps or certain aspect which are like appearing quite favorable to us. It prepares our body to meet the challenge. It's a source of energy, and it enhances the arousal and alertness. And during stressful condition, when the stress is under our control, then we could see it increases the performance. Actually, these aspects has been there in the literature from a long period of time. When stress is under control, then it has more of a positive effect. When the stress goes beyond a level, it has a possibility to lead to distress and causes other trouble. The major question comes to us here, right? When we are having less stress, we are underperforming. When we are having optimal stress, then we are performing more. It is like more of beneficial. And when it becomes like little larger or increase in volume, then it's going to have setback for us, or it is going to have a negative effect for us, right? But for quite long time in the history, we were thinking like, okay, it is better to have less stress, which is appearing before that optimum level, so that we can able to handle ourselves in a more better manner than reaching out to the level where it is going beyond our control, right? But when we look into the current context where we have reached to that level of like high stress all the time, it's really becoming impossible for us to minimize or the reduce the stressors. It becomes mandate, it becomes important for us to cross the border beyond that optimal level. There comes the importance of the new innovation in the stress research. But when we look into the factors which are contributing for the outcome, what we were facing as the bad outcome of the stress is related to predictability. Something which is very much possible for us to predict is going to give you less stress. That means you have the expectation like this thing has a possibility to occur, right? Probably if I am facing quite often power supply disturbances, then I would be prepared during online lecture, like power may go in between, right? But if I am not prepared, if I am not having a choice of predicting that power off, all on a sudden, if I get a power off without having that past expectation, that has a great choice of bringing you stress. And control, how much control you have towards the certain things in the surrounding. If you are in office, then how much control you have to exercise something for you to implement in the classroom or in the structure of the teaching or in the administrative responsibilities. And another important aspect which determines the bad effect of stress is like frequency. How often it is occurring. If something is occurring in once in a year or something occurring once in a month, probably it has less possibility for creating the bad outcome. Whereas if it is occurring quite often, someone was writing like peer relations is the one of the important aspect related to stress. And if at all I have a difficulty in managing my relationship with my peer, but quite often I need to have a choice of interacting with that person. So whenever you have the chance of meeting that person, then it is going to elicit enough amount of stress. Especially we could see the strained relationship between the teacher and the HOD or teacher and the administrators, all that has some choice of coming multiple time, which is important aspect to which leads to that bad effect of stress. And last but not the least is the support system. What type of support system we have which can able to help us, which can able to give us guidance, or which can able to say us what to do, how to do, so that we can able to handle that particular stressor correctly. When people lack such support system, they are going to face more stress than the other person who is having a possibility of having a support with friends or from mentor or from any other person who is like having higher capability than you. What is that we can do? Yes, it's very important for us to deal with the feeling and reactions. That means we need to reduce the feeling so that that feeling will not be going beyond the possibility of creating trouble to us. And we need to check our reactions. What is that we are doing during that particular stressful time? If we are trying to avoid such automatic reactions, then it has a great possibility for maintaining the relationship, continuing that atmosphere which was existing in the past, so that you may not hurt or disrupt any of the connect which you have with the other person. This is a very simple diagram what we could see whenever we talk about stress, which has been given by X and Dodson around 5-6 decades ago, where it has been told like stress and your performance has the positive relation until some time, and after that it gets into the negative connect, as I was discussing to you earlier. When stress is very less, we are very passive, we are very relaxed, and we don't have much botheration. Whereas when the stress is there, that is like little stress, or we call it like optimal stress, then we become like very active. If at all I want to tell this from the student's perspective, the person who is not having any stress for the academic performance, probably he would be very much inactive. He will not be thinking of his academic task at all. When he has little stress or moderate stress, then he would be having much care. Oh, day after tomorrow is my exam, so I need to put more effort for preparing myself for the exam. If he has already prepared, then he would be trying to see how he can able to use this time so that he can able to review that previous learning, he can able to get the desired results what he want, right? When the stress becomes overwhelming, when it becomes like quite high, then that leads to more of a confused state. At times some students, those who are having like uh, experience of higher amount of stress during this exam time, then they may end up in some type of health issues when they were having this excessive stress. Actually, when this type of things happens, then the stress leads to some type of discomfort which is not allowing them to work for the particular future responsibility, so their performance start reducing. And when it leads to a very huge amount, then probably people reach to the condition like, no, no, I am not for this, let me go out of it. Likely they can try to withdraw from that particular aspect which has caused them to have a high amount of stress. At times students, those who are engaging in this type of high stress, they try to discontinue from the course and they say, this is not my place to study, I may try to go some other place for my study. That's what we could see in the name of like over stress, which leads to withdrawal. But when we look into the individual differences, what comes to a person, how does it has a difference in terms of creating the consequences? Susan Kobasa, one of the researcher who has identified certain traits in people who are having such traits, they are having a huge protect from the stress R. That means what is causing me stress, that is not creating the similar trouble to other person who is having these traits with them. We call it like three C's. One is like who have commitment, who have control, and who have seen things as a challenge. Somebody who are quite disciplined in their daily routine have a great possibility to minimize the burden of stress because they are very much self control. Their ability to control their own behavior is quite high. So they experience less stress because they try to avoid stress. Very simply to say, like if we are having this type of aspect in many of the people, like they would be keeping the key in some place and they would be searching quite often, where did I leave my key, where did I leave my mobile, or where did I leave my pen, like that. So the self control is like trying to identify, okay, which is a place for this mobile. And if you start doing this regularly, there is no necessity for you to search for the mobile phone or the key, because key means key would be there in that particular place. And commitment is like, how do you dedicate yourself for the particular task? What is your commitment for that particular task? Those who are having commitment, higher commitment, they don't bother for the ill aspect which are coming from that surrounding. They have a focus more on, oh, as a teacher, I am committed to my teaching. Of course, during teaching, I will be having troubles or problems which has been created by students, but that I could able to handle, I could able to face, I could able to come across. So those who are having higher commitment, then they handle all the troubles without getting disturbed by the troubles. All right. And challenge is another important aspect which Kubasa brings out, is like, how do you see? Are you seeing this as a challenge, or are you seeing this as an obstacle? Someone was writing very clearly, like, yes, there is a huge expectation from the researcher or the teacher to have a publication, but there is less supportive atmosphere available in them, in the institution, right? Yes, it may be very much challenging for the researcher to do research when there is less supportive atmosphere is available. But how are you seeing this? Okay, it is little hard for you, but are you having ability to challenge this? Okay, you are giving only less opportunity or atmosphere. Is it not possible for me to try to do better, do with this? If you start seeing this as a challenge, then the hurdle or the burden which has been caused by the particular stress are reduces. So those who are having this hardiness are having less chance to get disturbed by the stressor. That means stressor has less possibility to disturb these people. Of course, this is quite old idea, but very recently a new idea has emerged from literature, from people who have engaged in research work related to stress, which is known as stress mindset. The way we look into stress is known as stress mindset. How do you see this stress? If I ask someone this question, the picture which is being depicted here, right hand side, is Peter Salovey from Yale University. Do you have any idea about this person who have been shown here? Your response, please. Do you have any idea? He is one among the researcher with John Mayer. He was the one who defined emotional intelligence in 1990s, around 35 years back. Emotional intelligence is an important idea which talks about people's ability to connect with the other person and how do they handle other person and how do they understand their own and as well as others' emotion. And that has become an important aspect of our daily life. Those who are having high emotional intelligence are becoming like a very strong leaders. uh, Organizations started having a more affinity with this idea called emotional intelligence. And student of this, Peter Salovey, is Alia Crum from Stanford University. And she has come up with this new innovative idea known as stress mindset. So what is this stress mindset? Stress mindset says there are two major ways of looking into stress. One is stress is enhancing mindset. Another one is stress is debilitating mindset. What is this stress is enhancing mindset? We see presence of stress is going to benefit me. Another one is stress is debilitating mindset. And oh, stress has come. I am gone. How is it possible for having a mindset which is creating a different outcome? When somebody is having stress is enhancing mindset, is it going to have any role for the person's health? This is a TED talk given by Kelly McGonigal during that initial days when the stress mindset idea has been emerged as a new idea. It's based on a particular research where the researcher has asked a large number of people about their experience of stress in the past year, as you have given the answer. Answer is given like relatively less stress and moderate amount of stress and lot of stress, right? What we generally think, those who are experiencing lot of stress, they would be having larger consequences of stress since they were experiencing larger stress in the past year. But when we look into the consequences, probably the death rate among these people, those who have felt like I am experiencing a lot of stress, but those who believed, yes, stress is bad for me, or those who believe stress is good for me, or stress is good, right? The next question, what we have given, yes or no. Someone who believed stress is bad for me have shown a higher proportion of death after 8 years of this question. So the question is being asked, and after that, people were waited for to get to know about their living condition. After 8 years, when we look into the number of person died between these two groups, who said stress is good for me or who said stress is bad for me, when we look into the death rate, we could see there are 40% higher risk of death, which has been visible over there with the person who said stress is bad for me. So it is not that experiencing a lot of stress is having a chance to lead to similar consequences to all people, but those who are believing stress is good for me, its consequences are reducing. There are many other researchers after this, they have come up with the literature, which has a great possibility for us to understand the role of this stress mindset and how does it have impact or how does it have effect on the people's health. There are certain researchers we see those who are believing that yes, I am doing necessary work every day. For them, the consequences is more favorable. But the same physical work which is being done by another person, but that another person has a belief like, no, I am not doing any exercise for me. For them, the consequences are different. It raises a very tricky question, the role of your mind in terms of creating the consequences related to stress. Before going further, I would like to request you, all of you, take few minutes. I'll share the link in chat box. Take few minutes. I am sharing you a Google form. So please open this form. There are few questions which are being asked over there. Now it is 12:14. We'll give you 10 minutes time. You can complete this assessment so that you can understand about your stress mindset as well as your hardiness. What is your hardiness score? So I could able to give you the reply after your completion. Just I have given the link in message box. Hope you could see the message. Wait. I think there is. I think now it is visible to all. Yes, there is a small trouble in the setting. Yes, please go ahead the assessment. One minute, wait, I'll try to change the setting. I have made the setting. Is it still having problem? One more minute. Hopefully now it would be working. Someone can respond whether it is opening. Yes, please go ahead. Nice. I could see some of the responses here. We'll wait one more minute and then we'll proceed with our talk. Soon I could able to give you the reply of this assessment, and you would be getting to know about your scores on hardiness as well as the stress mindset. Fine. So very nice to see your responses. There are 30 responses I have received till now. So let us go further. Those who were about to complete, they can complete, or someone who did not complete, they can even do later. So what is the difference when we have stress is enhancing mindset? Actually, it has a great chance to enhance your performance and your productivity. And by the way, it has a high chance to have a better health and vitality. And it has a condition which facilitates your own learning and which is needed for your growth. And the major difference, what we could see when we have stress is enhancing mindset, we see stress as positive and stress to be utilized. That means instead of wasting the energy which is available during the time of stress, we try to utilize energy and we invest that energy and we try to get the benefit out of this. Whereas when we see stress is debilitating mindset, we could see the entirely opposite things are happening. That is like stress debilitates my health and vitality. It troubles my health. It reduces my performance. It inhibits my learning and growth. And same way, we try to avoid stress because we see stress as negative and we try to avoid it. But these differences, how do, as a scientist, we see, as a psychologist, how do we see? For that, we could look into different other evidences which are there before us. Hope you all know about placebo studies. Do someone have idea about placebo studies? What is placebo studies? Placebo studies are nothing but we'll take 2% who are having a similar type of illness, right? 1% we would be giving a drug which can able to go and work for that particular illness. Another person give uh, we could give a particular particular sugar coated sugar coated thing, which is not a medicine, but it is a sugar pill, but it is being made in the form of a pill, and then it would be given to the person. When people consume drug, they are getting free from their illness. It is very much visible. The drug goes and acts into the person, and that person gets relief. And even sugar pill, which has been given by the doctor to another set of person, that person also getting cured by his from his illness. How is it possible for the ill person to get cured by a placebo? Because placebo is known to the person who has given, whereas the person who received, he is receiving this as it is being given by the doctor. Many times we could see when we go and meet the right doctor who is like very closely connected to you from long time, they are like very uh, lucky doctor likely, right? So when they just touch the patient and when they give some correct guidance, the person gets cured. It's more similar to that, right? So doctor is not giving only through medicine, but doctor is giving certain other hope to the person who is being affected by the illness, and such care, such type of connection, what you have from the doctor, or how do you believe that doctor has a great chance to cure my illness, that cure your illness? So that's what we could see from placebo studies. That means beyond the medicine, the belief what you have about the doctor has a great possibility to get cure. And similarly, when we see we as a psychologist who are working with the people, those who are having severe depression and anxiety, we could see the role of cognition. How does it play a key role in terms of giving that exaggerated emotion? So the thoughts which are faulty leads to a very high intense feeling. By the way, it leads to certain different behavior which is not very much congenial or okay for the person. The moment we replace the thought with the right thought, the thought which is a rational thought, then it leads to less amount of emotion, then that leads to more adaptive behavior. We could see the role of your thought in terms of changing your behavior. And similarly, different physiological response during challenging time. That means like all of you might have gone through different challenging moment in your life, right? And how do you find the challenging moment? What you had when you mm, face an activity which is quite interesting to you? That means like very simply, if you are talking during the festival time, we could see there are a big uh, swings or Dora Dora, which takes you to a very long height and then it keeps you there for a few moments and then it leads you, right? When you are having a huge interest towards it, you see your heart would be beating more faster and you'd be taking so much of air in terms of your respiration as well as perspiration. But at the top, that particular moment would be very thrilling to you rather than troubling to you, right? Same thing would be there with another person who is very much unlikely to be there on top, but he has been taken by the spouse or the parents, but he would be just shouting like anything. He also would be having all the changes what you would be having, but he is having one thing like dislike for that particular moment, right? And he would be having like feeling of fear, anxiety, tension because of that particular moment. So physiological responses for both the person is same, but what you infer, right? So when my heart is beating faster, when I am talking to you, what is my inference about this heartbeat? Okay, my heart started giving me more energy. Let me get that energy. Let me deliver the lesson very nicely to the people is coming from one person who is having confidence, and same thing is very much differing to another person who is having less confidence in that particular task. Oh, my heart started binding. I told I am not good at it. See, now my heart is started pumping. I could not do anything. How you see the physiological responses comes from the way you see that particular task. All these things gives us a very strong evidences where we could see the role of our mindset in terms of delivering a particular response. Actually, Ali Akram and other team, they were continuously involved in different researches, and it has been published in one of the book titled Handbook of Wise Interventions, where there are evidences which has been given when people have stress is debilitating mindset, it leads to less positive emotion. That means like more of negative emotion is been coming into a person. And by the way, it leads to attending to a negative stimuli, something which is not possible for the person to handle, something which is leading to certain type of trouble or hurt or rumination, and leads to motivation like trying to avoid. That means like you are not going towards the task, but you are going to avoid the task. And in physiology, we could see there are like lower DHEAS, that is like one of the important hormone which has been available in the system, which is facilitating learning. High or low cholesterol. We could see when the physiology is like quite aroused, then it is leading to a very high cholesterol level. That means cortisol level. And all these has a chance to lead to compromised performance and compromised well-being and compromised health, right? Whereas the same thing, when the person gets into stress is enhancing mindset, he tries to look into the positive emotion which is there. Okay, I am doing this particular task of preparing students for the research work. What is that? Yes, I am making them to understand. If somebody gets understand, that leads me, oh, I could see that somebody is understanding, that lead to that positive effect. And it makes you to look into the positive stimulus and positively appraise the condition, right? Of course, life is filled with positivity and negativity, and when you look into positive, then it has a great chance to you to get more enhanced well-being. And motivation may, yes, it is like you are having a physiological arousal and you are trying to utilize the stress. When you are trying to utilize the stress, you spend more time, extended time on the task, and you involve more on the task, and you try to complete the task by your additional effort or additional involvement. And the major difference what we could see when people have in stress is enhancing mindset is like a physiological change. One is like higher DHEAS. This higher DHEAS are the hormone which are helping us to form the memory codes in hippocampus. And when these hormones are higher, then it leads easier formation of memory codes. When you have stress is enhancing mindset, that means you are learning more faster during that particular time when you encounter the stress. By the way, it leads to enhanced performance and enhanced well-being and enhanced health. So overall, when we look into the stress mindset interventions, that means like putting you to change the mindset. Uh, Finally, it comes with a conclusion like, okay, whenever there is stress, it is necessary for us to acknowledge this stress when we experience. Yes, this particular task, what is being expected from me is giving me stress. Fine. So this welcoming stress by recognizing its response to something you care about. What is that something you care about? What do you care for the teaching task? Do you think teaching is not required for you as a teacher? Of course not. You have a great care for the teaching, right? So whatever is being attached with that teaching, whatever it is been coming in connection with the teaching, whatever is coming in the context of your teaching, it is mandatory for you to welcome the stress and make use of that energy that stress gives you instead of wasting that energy trying to manage your stress. Whenever we try to manage the stress, we try to reduce the intent of things which are causing us stress, right? It was an old approach. That means like you try to minimize your connect with the surrounding so that you can have less stress from the surrounding, right? As a teacher, when we take a chance, when we took a job, then yes, these things are going to be there. Yes, trouble with the peers are going to be there, but how are you going to prepare yourself to handle, to face, instead of trying to avoid? And if you see the people, those who are like very high performing artists or athletes or surgeon or musicians, they work for quite long hours in the sense they work for 10 hours, 12 hours. Some of the doctors get into surgery, which is quite long duration. Will they get stressed because of that long hours of work? Yes, they will be definitely get stressed, but they people are prepared themselves to use that energy for the benefit of the patients, benefit of their audience, or benefit of their own mission, what they had for themselves, right? Even some of the writings about badminton champion from Hyderabad, PV Sindhu, we could see in her daily schedule how many hours she's been continuously working in the name of her regular uh, sports activity. Yes, they will also get do that higher amount of stress, but they try to continuously persist in terms of enhancing their level, right? So they try to use that effort, use that energy, what is being given to them in the name of stress. Another beautiful thing what we could see in terms of stress response is related to the secretion of oxytocin. All of us know oxytocin has a great role in social bonding, connecting with the other person, right? When we face stress, we feel very much trouble, and we try to take comfort from another known person or mentor or friend or anybody, right? The moment we start sharing things or talking things about the event to another person, when they come and console you, when they start giving their shoulder to you, when you just rest on the other person's shoulder, the secretion of oxytocin goes quite high in both the persons, right? That means the moment you have a supporting person available who can say like, oh, don't worry, this will get okay soon, don't worry, that creates a lot of availability of oxytocin. This oxytocin has another important role in terms of managing blood vessels. They actually dilate the blood vessels from stress which has been constricted. Oxytocin will dilate the blood vessels. When oxytocin dilate the blood vessels, that the blood supply to all the other parts which were getting less supply goes down. And by the way, you could experience more relaxation, right? So tend to be befriend response is important learning for us from this releasing of oxytocin. And another important aspect is this DHEA, which increases our brain's ability to learn more. So what is needed? It's like, yes, every time we need to rise the challenge so that we could utilize the available energy. An important point here is like connect with the other person. Yes, we need to have a very strong connect with friends, family, or a mentor anywhere. So when you have any such stress, so that you can able to see your enhanced connection in terms of taking console from the other person, and learning and growing each day. What you face as a stress need to have something to tell you, like where you need to focus for your learning curve. So what you learn well probably is going to give you less stress. What you did not learn, that would be continuously giving you stress, right? How to handle my boss, or how to handle my friend, or how to handle my co-worker. If we learn more, then I'm sure we would be having less chance to experience stress. Just think about some of the meaningful roles or meaningful relationship, meaningful activities, and meaningful goals which you have for your own life. Probably working hard for bringing up your family standard, or working hard for your close people, or working hard for reaching certain aspirations in your life, right? Similarly, which part of life are you mostly likely to experience joy, love, laughter, learning, or sense of meaning? Do they sometimes or frequently stressful? I love my family. I work for my family. Do that comes as a stress at times? I love my job. I need the outcome which has been coming from my job for the benefit or meaningful role what I have outside of this job. Do they come up with the stress? Yes. So whatever the meaningful role you have, or whatever the meaningful time you have in terms of learning, laughter, or enjoying moments, all of that has a great chance to come or lead to stress. In one of the study, it has been found every measure of stress has predicted a greater sense of meaning in life. Someone who is having a very immense meaning in meaning for their work probably have a less chance to experience stress from work. Someone who has a great sense of meaning for their existence in the family have a less chance to experience stress from family. The entrepreneur who experienced stress yesterday try to come up with the new thing today. Stress is a natural byproduct of pursuing difficult but important goals. So there is no possibility for us to go away from stress rather than being embarrassed or being friend with this stress. If at all you see something as unacceptable, probably you can try to make yourself to accept. If at all something is coming in terms of uncertainty, you can try to reduce it. If something is uncontrollable, probably there are choices available, you can make a right choice. There is only one problem, that is the fear of unable to cope. If we are ready, we could able to cope. And you are not alone. So there are people who are there to help you as a psychologist. Anytimes people can take remedy for their trouble, which is not possible for them to handle by themselves. So I end up my talk here. So I am open to know or attend any of the questions which is there in your mind for few more minutes. Thank you all. I'd be very happy if you could start thinking little differently about your daily stress from today. We can have few questions, Dr. Mavia.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I think there is no more questions, sir. Is it okay to wrap up?
I am fine, not an issue.
Okay. Thank you so much, Professor Jeyavel, for giving an insightful presentation about stress. And I hope that they will really be distressed after hearing your presentation. And I hope and looking forward for another engagement with you, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you so much. Thank you all participants. Very nice to see you. Thank you all.
Okay. Okay, sir. So, participant, we will be having a lunch break. We will meet again at 1:30. Okay. So make sure that everyone stay online on at 1:30. Okay.